Good afternoon, fellas. Welcome back to another episode. And today I want to talk about how fathers should be raising their sons. Now, I can't speak for how to raise daughters. I don't have a daughter myself, but I know it's completely different raising a son from a daughter. But I do have a son, and here's what I think it means to raise a son and what he needs to learn. So, obviously, right now, fathers are being treated like shit. They want a fatherless society. They're doing everything they can to empower women to not have to have fathers raise their kids, that the mothers can do everything, that you don't need a dad and all that bullshit. And I don't think that's right. Are there deadbeat dads out there? Yeah, sure. But there's also deadbeat moms out there as well. And the government's giving these women money for kids in wedlock. But if they're not wedlock, they don't want to give them any kind of money. So they're basically promoting women to go out and have kids with, any kind of man, and we'll give you money, we'll give you benefits and all that. But if you get married and do it the right way, the government don't want to help you the same way. So that tells me that as a society, they know how important fathers are. But it goes back to the feminist culture. They want a society of demasculinization and pro-feminism. Because if you have dads that are raising their kids right, raising their kids to be masculine, to lead, then they're not going to be able to control them the same way as if you have a kid that's in a household without a dad, and the mom's raising them, and the mom's raising them to be feminine, and not having a dad in that kid's life, he's not going to know how to do certain stuff. He's not going to know how to lead the same way. So all this shit makes sense on their plan and why they want to do all this. But me, I'm fortunate enough that I have my son in my life every single day. And my son, he means the world to me. Any kid out there, man, not just my son, all kids out there, they all need to be protected. They all need a good father in their life. And, it hurts me to see that a lot of these kids grown up, they don't have a dad in their life. And they go down the wrong path, and they get into trouble, and they just don't have anybody to go to. I think as a society, whether they're your kids or not, all kids need to be protected at all costs. And right now, that's not the case. We have kids being abused, molested, neglected, all that shit. No child should ever have to go through that. And any parent out there, any dad out there that's letting their kid go through that, you're a piece of shit. Kids are innocent. Kids need leaders in their life. They need to be raised to be accountable for their actions. They need to be raised to work hard, to earn everything. And these are the morals that I'm teaching my kid. Recently I started bringing my kid outside when I work out. I work out in the back. I have my own kind of weight set and all that. And he's only 2.5, but I bring him back there now every time I work out because I want him to see what I'm doing. I want him to see me. Even though he's young right now, he doesn't really understand. When he gets older, when he's 5, he's going to remember, oh man, I saw my dad doing that a few years ago. And I want him to learn how important it is to take care of his body and how everything else lines up. When you take care of your body, your mind's going to be taken care of as well. So I want him to see me doing positive things. My son sees me work as well. So when I'm sitting down, meeting with clients, talking with, clients, anything like that, my son knows, okay, this is what dad's doing. Dad's doing this, to provide for me, to provide for mom. That's the kind of stuff they need to see. They don't need to be seeing these video games. They don't need to be being exposed to nudity, none of that bullshit that's going on in schools. Anybody, I'll say it, I really am against public school at this point. I'm not saying all public schools are doing this, but it seems like they're headed that way. It seems like a lot of public schools are okay with letting kids do whatever the hell they want, no consequences. They don't have to have discipline. I know when I was graduating my final year, they just implemented this No Child Left Behind. And it was basically saying the kid can fail, but, he goes on to the next grade because no child gets left behind. So basically just teaching kids to be failures, to be poor, that they don't have to work for nothing, that they get a handout even if they fail, and everybody gets a participation. So you're telling me the people that actually sit down and work and take the time to get A's and B's, they don't mean anything more than that person that wants to skip school, go smoke weed, go commit crimes, fail their classes, that he has just as much right to graduate as the good kid does, because everybody gets a participation. At least the kid was there. At least he showed an effort, even though he failed. Why are we praising kids like this? I'm not saying it's not okay to fail. You gotta fail at some point, but if you fail, there's consequences for that. If you fail, there's no reason why you need to be given a reason to go to the next grade. What kind of world do we live in now? Back then, if anybody was failing a class, there were consequences for that. Now it just seems like, oh, who cares? At least they showed up. At least they're showing an effort by being here. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like how our kids are being raised. I don't like how they're being treated. They're supposed to be the future. They're supposed to be the leaders in the next 20 to 30 years. How are they going to lead? How are they going to be accountable? How are they going to have any discipline? All y'all are doing is weakening them. Telling them it's okay to be fat. It's okay to play video games all day. It's okay to talk back to your parents. It's okay. You don't have to listen to your parents. Just do what you want to do because we told you it's okay. Parents, it's your responsibility to raise your kids and to teach your kids. It's not the schools. You say, oh, that's what the tax dollars are for, is for my teachers and all that. For the teachers to raise them and not raise them, but to, mentor them, teach them, and stuff like that. No, it's your responsibility. You're the parent. So if it's the teacher's responsibility to teach them, and they're teaching them that it's okay to be another gender, are you going to stand by that because your tax dollars say that you should be okay with that teacher doing that? Y'all can't trust y'all can't trust these teachers. You can't trust the school board members. Nobody, no representative, nobody, because they're proving to be harmful, not effective. They don't want to help these kids. They're destroying these kids' future right in front of your eyes, and you just don't seem to give a shit about it. You think that they really want the best for your kid. They don't give a shit about your kid. You know how many kids they see a day, year in and year out? You think they give a shit? What's different from you than that kid? Not a damn thing. They don't care. You're just another number to them. What do you think gives them the right to have more time with your kid, to treat your kid better than the other kid? They don't give a shit. They're not going to look out for your best interests. It's your responsibility as a parent. And if you're not doing that, that's your fault. I blame you more than I blame the teacher. Because you have every right to pull your kid out from that school. If you don't like what that school is doing to your kid, you have every right to take him out. Nobody's forcing your kid to learn that shit. But when you keep him in there, you're telling them it's okay, that you're okay with the curriculum, that you're okay with them teaching the kids about child porn, about LGBTQ. You're okay with all that. So you're really, your kid's being brainwashed and you're perfectly fine with it. Because you're too chicken shit to stand up for it. Or you don't want to step on any toes. Well, shit. I'll step on anybody's fucking toes when it comes to my kid, whether they like it or not. As a matter of fact, it's more than toes. I'd be after somebody's life if they hurt my kid. So, dads out there, start teaching your kids to be masculine. You need to start involving them in your daily activities. If you work out, if you listen to positive podcasts, if you're all for bettering yourself as a dad for your family, you need to be involving your kids in all of this stuff. Your kids need to see you doing this. Talking is not enough. Kids are very smart. Kids see your actions. Kids don't want to hear you talk. Kids want to see you actually doing it. Don't just tell your kid something. Show him. Explain it to him. Tell him why for everything. This is why we do this. This is why you believe in this. I'll see y'all in the next video.